Friends, I'm Dr. Shahid Shahid. I've been trying to share with you a basic concept about various kind of, I may say, religions and why they have differences. And my main concern is first to let you know what are these great religions and why they differ with each other, and what is the way to bring back all together on some basis unit. In this respect, today I'm going to talk about the very precious and well-known authority in religions, Hazrat Ibrahim, because all the people believe on this great, I may say, gracious prophet and his, I may say, preaching or his thoughts, because they are based on reality principle. And it is interesting to note that he never applied any kind of miracle. Rather, he talked about the human nature as well as the universal system and tried to bring them an insight that there is some authority who is running this universe, and this is not in the control of mankind, whosoever one may be, because people come, people go, and there's no fixed time of death. Number two, nobody control and hold the whole universe. Even the biggest president or kings, they emperor, they have no control. But there is an authority who's looking after and seeing and working these things. And but we do not pay attention to it because we are involved in our worldly affairs too much. That how we are blessed with various kind of season, fruits, air, and all kind of facilities, day and night, and these all things have been created for the mankind. But unfortunately, mankind only know how to enjoy and have a discussions against religion and other people. So I'm going to quote here today Hazrat Ibrahim. Hazrat Ibrahim was born, and he was a gifted person because he used it wisdom too much. That the very first day when he came from the cave and he saw this universe, and then he saw various kind of star, moon, sun, and then he said, "Who is running this thing?" And then he from there he drive logically that there is some authority who is running all these things and I should obey him. Now, the very first, his life is full of challenges. The very first challenge was his father was who was making idols and he worshipping idols. So he talked to his father, "Father, what you are doing? You are making these with your hands and then you're bowing your head and asking these things." Then the father, who was a very rigid in this respect, say, "Don't talk like this way. If you talk next time, I will ask you to kick you out from my home." So from the very beginning, he has this condition. So when the second time he said, then his father, although he was very young, he kicked him out, but he said, "Oh, my father, I will pray to my Lord who is running this universe that he will forgive you and give you insight." So when I'm talking about this, you try to see how he was applying his intellectual power as a human being and how gracious he was. He was very humble, very peaceful, loving, listening to the people, never arguing, and trying to bring the things together with certain logical thing. Now, the very next, challenge he has when he asked the people not to worship, they were against him. So what happened? He wanted to give them some lesson. So on their annual anniversary, they used to put, the fruits before their, the idols in that idol home, and then they go out in to have ceremony, and then they join and have the function the way they used to do in their such kind of function. As I told you in the very beginning, the people have been using this thing from the very beginning when there was no knowledge at all. Now, what happened? When they have gone, he entered into that idol homes and he took the ass and broke all the, there were so many idols on it. The biggest one, he put the ass on the head of that one and he left the place. When the people come, they were surprised. The whole city, they turned against her. Who has done without these gods? So they said there is a guy who used to talk against idol. his name is Ibrahim. So they brought him and they asked him that, you should answer us. He said, well, before you answer me, why do you not ask your gods, whom you pray and ask help from them? He can help you and he can talk to you. They were looking at each other. Oh, how it has happened. Perhaps he has broken all these things. He talked like this way. Then they were shocked. But those people who have rigidity and they cannot want to change their thoughts, they stick to it. So, and due to their insecurity, they thought it's the best way that we should crush and kill him and give him a very terrible kind of punishment. So they bring a lot of big fire and put him in that one. And the very first, God blessed him that he was saved from that fire and he was out of it. Now, after that, his whole life is like this way. Then he has a wife, Sarah, but he has no child from it. Then the second wife, Hajra, he took him toward another place where you see nowadays Arab, and there was barren place. And he said she was pregnant. He said that I am leaving you here, and I have to go back to take care of my important things, and then I will come back. In that time when she was alone, the she delivered child, and the child was very thirsty. She ran over here and there, and then there's a second miracle came. The boy, his name was Ishmael, because he became later on the known prophet of Ibrahim's son. So then, when his heels he touched with the ground, then the spring came out, and from there they saved and they have their start life, and that barren place becomes so prospered that people start living over there. When the Ibrahim came back and saw it, and now his second test come. I'm saying that he remained under testing. One cannot become the dearest to God without testing. Now he has a dream. God asked him that you should sacrifice your dearest thing in my name. I want to see how much you are honest to me, how much you have submitted to me. Then he saw that, and then he took his son, the Ishmael, a loving, small child, teenager, and not rather teenage, and below it, and he said, "Oh, my son, I have an important thing to ask you that God asked me that I should sacrifice my dearest one, and you are my dearest one in my life, and I want to sacrifice." And just see, the obedient son is not like today's generation. Say, "Oh, my father, I'm your son, I'm at your mercy, at your pleasure, whatever you may like me." Then he took him and put a bandage and he tried to sacrifice him. Then the God have a lesson, second blessing, that a lamb was came and he sacrificed. So this is the reason that his life is full of like this way. Now he keep on, then he stayed over there. Then he built the very first home, what God told him, in Makkah, where all people go for Hajj. So just see what happened, that they built it and they keep on praying, "Oh my God, I'm doing this, and my all children, they make them a good preacher and prophet, your known people, and bless them this land." And then he started praying for over there. From there, God said, I accepted your all this labor and made this city so important. The Hajj is important for every person. Every person goes over there. And the sacrification is the second one on the day when the days come. Azwa, special kind of, I may say, a month in the Hajj. After completing the Hajj, they sacrifice. So God says, "Oh my Ibrahim, you are Khalilullah," the word special given to him. Ibrahim Khalilullah, La ilaha illallah, Ibrahim Khalilullah. What was his legacy? What was his main mission? He said, God is one. God is only one, deity is only one. There is no other deity, and everything is under him, and he's controlling the universe. And he presented these things logically with reasoning, because God gave him wisdom. So whatever he did in his life, he did like this way. So later on, when he went back and he has a chance to face, the emperor, and they brought him that he's saying that God is something different than you. He was claiming that he's a God as Pharaoh and other thing. He say, oh, what is your God? He said, my God give life and death. He said, I cannot give. I can also give life and death. What? He brought one person who is going to, they're going to sacrifice him or killing him. He freed him. The other he put it. He said, no, this is not the solution. Solution this, my God rise sun from the east and it goes to the west. Can you do it? That you will rise from the west and bring it east. And then he put his head down. Because this is the smartness, this is the big Ibrahim and his life and his character, sacrificing, giving help, needy people, and then he was always there to help these things. So his character was very remarkable. Never fight with any person. Whosoever come, he used to give them various kind of, I may say, facilities and try to help them. So when he was too old, and Ishmael was here in Arab, and then two angels came to him and told him in that age that God has going to give you a son, and not only that son, his name would be Isaac, rather he will have his own son. His name would be Yaqub, Jacob. So his wife, Sarah, she was too old and very unable to have child. They said, how is this possible? She started laughing on this thing. He said, no, don't laugh. God is great. He can create anything at any time. He's my master. So in this way, God blessed him this thing. So he was a blessed, graceful prophet. From there, you see, came Isaac, then Jacob, the Hazrat Yaqub, from where you see the Israel, Bani Israel start. So his one son is the starter of Muslim Ishmael, the other son is the starter of, I may say, Bani Israel. So God has given this thing and this precious thing to them. So it is mentioned in the Quran. There are a lot of his, sacrification, working, helping people, various aspect of his character has been given. That always saying to the Prophet peace be upon him, follow whom? Your father Ibrahim. He was Khalilullah, and he was my dearest one, and he was monotheist. He only know one God. So just see in this surah. So at the time of death of Jacob, these are, I may say, prophets. And they asked their children whom you will follow, and then they said, just see in this surah that we will follow whom. Just see it.
ومن يرغب عن ملة إبراهيم إلا من سفه نفسه ولقد اصطفيناه في الدنيا وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين.
And who would be averse to the religion of Abraham except one who makes a fool of himself? And we had chosen him in this world, and indeed he in the hereafter will be among the righteous.
إذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين.
When his Lord said to him, submit, he said, I have submitted in Islam to the Lord of the worlds.
ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
And Abraham instructed his sons to do the same, and so did Jacob, saying, O my sons, indeed Allah has chosen you for this religion, so do not die except while you are Muslims.
أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون.
Or were you witnesses when death approached Jacob, when he said to his sons, "What will you worship after me?" They said, "We will worship your God and the God of your fathers Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac, one God, and we are Muslims in submission to him."